deadline talk, injury updates, and did Kiké Hernández go rogue? We'll break down takeaways from the Philly series and preview the upcoming Mets series. We'll talk all and more with a very special guest some of you know well. This is Blue Dynasty Unplugged.
It's time for Dodger Baseball!
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series! Beat the champ! You gotta knock him out! The Dodgers cement their dynasty!
And welcome back to a brand new episode of Blue Dynasty Unplugged. I'm your host, Robert Medina, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Bobby Hainline, George Contillanes. And if you guys are noticing something a little bit different, Priscilla, it doesn't look like she normally does. And that's only because we're joined today by the one, the only, the real FRG, Mr. Clint Pasillas. How's it going, Clint?
We're good, man. I was here for, I think, episode 1, episode 2, I don't know, and now we're happy to be back. We're almost at the trade deadline. Dodgers are fun. Dodgers are frustrating. It's a good time, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think it was episode 1, I want to say. Yeah, you came on very early. Still got a little bit of the stutters, but I think I'm shaking some of that off. It's gotten things have changed with Blue Dynasty. But happy that you're able to come back. I know you have busy schedules, but we're gonna get into it. There's a ton of things to talk about in the Dodger world, right? But before we get into that, here's a quick word from our sponsor, Malachite Media.
Modern marketing isn't built on guesswork anymore. It's built on data. Malachite Media uses intent data to reach people based on what they're searching, what they're shopping for, and even what they're watching. Helping businesses reach the right audience across Google, social media, streaming TV, and more. Start your digital growth with Malachite Media today.
All right, so like you mentioned, Clint, there's a ton of stuff going on. All-Star break is over. Now we're on the tail end of the season, right? Getting ready to see exactly what we're going to have for, going into October, right? Who is going to be healthy? Are we going to, go after anybody at the trade deadline? There's a lot of things that are still a lot of questions, I guess, up in the air. Before we touch on that, I do have a special announcement. So guys, the All Dodgers podcast, including Clint Pasillas, and Blue Dynasty will be teaming up, for a watch party at Game Changer Brew House in Sherman Oaks on September 19th. So mark those calendars, guys. Clint, anything to say on the event?
I love it, man. Getting chills thinking about it. It's a great opportunity to. We're doing it late. Obviously, we've been trying to get something together for a little while. Scheduling, World Cup kind of got in the way with some of it, but I think it's a perfect opportunity to send off the regular season and kick off the real season, which is the postseason when you're talking about Los Angeles Dodgers baseball. So it's going to be cool, man. Hopefully, we get a lot of friends out there, have some good times, still figuring out a lot of logistics. We'll have some giveaways. I will be drinking, having shots with people, having a good time. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And I know George is supposed to be flying in from Australia during that weekend. Priscilla will be there. She will be there on site with Clint. Whether I will be there or not is still TBD. But
starting the GoFundMe right now. I don't even care if it's a schedule thing.
I know, right?
GoFundMe.
Yeah. Well, buy Clint a drink. I mean, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
Yep.
Listen, I'll fill in for you, Robert. We're good, man.
I trust you. But guys, Dodgers are doing great. I know there's a lot that, I guess we're spoiled, right? We can complain about a lot of things, but big picture, Dodgers are 65-38 with the best record in baseball. Plus 157 run differential, but yet there's still a lot of questions for this team, right? Guys, well, we'll start with Clint, right? I mean, since you're joining us, what have you seen from this team, and what can fans look forward to, or how should fans feel about this team right now in the state that it's in?
I know fans like to be frustrated, having obviously the time we're recording, we're in the midst of that 9-game roadie out of the All-Star break. Go through the Yankees, you go through Philly, and then now taking on the Mets just before we're recording here. You get annoyed when you see the team struggle on offense. They lose 2 games in a row. They're also going up against some of the best pitchers in baseball, and they got to them. They got to Cam Schlittler, made him work on the Yankees. You saw Muntz get to Garrett Cole in that first game. You saw Muncy get to Aaron Nola. You saw him get to Zach Wheeler. I love Muncy. I love Tommy Edman right now. But they're doing this, without, the healthy starting rotation. Obviously, you're missing 3 of your aces right now with Shohei sidelined from the starting rotation, and you're doing it without the top of your lineup performing the way you really want. The fact that this team is very seldom, it feels like, firing on all cylinders, and still, like you mentioned, has the best record in baseball. You have this insane run differential, and we know, listen, they're run differential merchants. They'll go out there, score 1 run, 2 run, 17 runs, and then everything, it helps when you have a really good pitching staff. But the fact that they're able to do this, just be as good as they are with the depth as tested as it continues to be year in, year out, and right now, Eric Lauer, you pick him up, and all of a sudden teams are clamoring for him. That's the stuff that gets me going, keeps me going really during these dog days through the summer here. It's July, baseball gets a little dull, but they find a way to be fun. They're playing well despite not firing on all cylinders, and that's how good this team is.
Yeah, absolutely. George, are you encouraged? Are you more encouraged by the way the Dodgers have been playing, or are you more concerned by the injuries that have plagued this team for what seems like forever now?
Yeah, I think, I'm encouraged. It's good signs that, we're doing as well as we are, whilst we've got key parts of our rotation missing. And I think, there is a bit of concern. I think the most concern I have is probably over Will Smith. Because I know Snell will come back relatively soon. Díaz will come back. Glasnow, I don't know, but I'm hoping he'd be back. And Ohtani, again, there's no rush. There's really not any reason to rush his return to pitching. And we saw what he can do when he doesn't pitch anyway. So I think it's not as bad as what maybe people are making it out to be, but obviously it would be nice to have him back in the rotation. But again, I'm pretty pleased and encouraged with how it's going.
Yeah. Bobby, your take.
Well, first of all, do I sound okay? Am I really loud? Because I feel like I'm really loud. Or maybe I'm just always really loud. I don't know.
I think you're good.
It's passion.
Okay. So, I am encouraged. I like how we started out. I know there's fans out there that are just going to be so disappointed every time we lose a game. But, are we that? Do we have such unreal expectations of this team that we're disappointed when we lose 2 games out of 6? I mean, come on, people. I don't know. No, I am really encouraged. I feel like Max is just on a hot streak right now. He passed Ron Say last night for second place on the all-time home run leaders for the Dodgers. We got Dalton Rushing, who's he had a hell of a game last night. He had that big home run, and I believe, didn't he have another extra base hit, if I remember right?
2-run double.
2-run double, yeah. So he's
and another viral moment too. It's important.
Yeah, look, get the F back. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the word, but children may be watching this. But it was, and he actually smiled about it. He actually seems like he's starting to have a sense of humor about this stuff. and Alec Bohm just had a look like, well, what am I going to do? But I'm feeling very encouraged. I like where we are right now. I like the fact that we're protecting Ohtani. We're not rushing him back on the mound yet. We have a lot of depth on the mound right now, so I don't think we need him right now. But yeah, there's no reason to rush him back. Just like we talked a few weeks or months ago about not rushing Mookie back or not rushing some of our other injured players back. And we've got Kiké coming back on the next homestand. We've got who else is coming back? Oh yeah, we got some guy named Edwin Díaz. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but yeah, we're looking really good. I'm really encouraged, and yeah, I think we're in a good place right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. There's actually there's actually one guy that well, right now there's a lot of trade deadline talk, right? And this is the time of year where us as fans want to believe that the Dodgers are going to go after certain players. And you start seeing headlines, you start seeing stories out there that may or may not come to fruition. And one of those that has been, kind of talked about a lot recently is Mason Miller, right?
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys, the story came out, about not potentially, but I guess the possibility of the Dodgers going after a Mason Miller. Now, there are fans out there who are saying, "Hey, there's no possible way the Padres are going to trade Mason Miller to the Dodgers." Now, it, let's remember that although it's not the same level of player, but trades have happened between the Dodgers and the Padres, which most recently was how we got River Ryan, right?
Mhm.
So, there is a possibility. But with that being said, in my opinion, is a Mason Miller trade possible? Anything's possible. Is it likely? I don't think so, right?
No.
Clint, your take on Mason Miller?
Yeah, I mean, for myriad reasons, it's hard to imagine a Mason Miller trade to LA. I think there's other teams that make a lot of sense. I know the Yankees have a strong interest in him to pair at the back end of their bullpen with David Bednar, who has been phenomenal for the Yankees, by the way. But there's always going to be that the Dodgers Padres factor you mentioned. River Ryan, that was one of those under the radar trades for my old pal Matt Beatty. Miss you, buddy. Before that, there was, there's probably other things in between, but the other big one before that, Matt Kemp getting traded there, Dodgers get back, Yasmani Grandal and some other pieces. I just can't imagine now with how much things have changed, even since that River Ryan trade, how much things have changed between those two organizations and the fan base. And, I feel like somebody in that Padres front office is aware of the fact that they could lose some of that fan base if they trade the best trade asset to the dragon up north in the Dodgers. I don't see it for that factor. I don't see it happening. I also don't necessarily see a need. You
No.
why go get Mason Miller when you got Mason Miller? You got Latin Mason Miller coming back off the IL right now with Edwin Diaz, and I wrote down as we're talking, of the things to really give some love to. Tanner Scott filling in, pressed into closer duty, how good he has been. Now you get Edwin Diaz back, you get to slide him back. I don't see a need for Mason Miller. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we get Edwin Diaz back. You have essentially at least the last three innings. I could see Tanner Scott going more than one, right? So yeah, I think the closer role is solidified and that the Dodgers have made clear, right?
Yeah.
And Tanner Scott is kind of like that cherry on top. Mason Miller would be overkill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, yes, we could never have enough pitching, right? But at the end of the day, there are other needs that I feel that, should be addressed other than going after a Mason Miller. George, your thoughts on a possible, or I guess not so possible, Mason Miller trade?
Yeah, like you said, anything's possible, but I don't see this one happening. I just don't think there's a real big need for it. And I would be very surprised if the Padres, I'd be surprised if they trade him in general. I could possibly see him going to New York, maybe at the Yankees. But if anything, I highly doubt we're going to. But yet again, I was saying this about Kyle Tucker. I was saying this
Yeah.
Probably about Edwin Díaz at one point as well. So you never know. But yeah, I don't think there's a big need for it. Like Clint said, we got the Latin version coming back. So I'm pretty happy with where the bullpen's at. If they stay healthy, they're pretty lights out.
Yeah.
And, to add one other point on the Padres side, I can't envision AJ Preller ever conceding, ever selling. I don't think it's in his blood. They need to sell, but even if they go to trade Mason Miller, they're going to want to try to offload a Xander Bogaerts or Jake Cronenworth package or contract, and they're not going to get as good of a trade package back. It's tough. It's a tough situation down in San Diego. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Bobby, thoughts on, well, I'll ask you this. Do you think it's more possible for the Dodgers to go after a reliever, a starter, or a position player this trade deadline, or nothing?
That is a good question because, yeah, I it's tough because you have, as far as our position players go, you have you got a Kiké coming back. And where is he going to fit in when he comes back? Do you send someone like Kyle Tucker down to the minors so he could work his deal out? I don't know. That's so tough. I think we're pretty well set in the out or in the fielding positions. I do believe our relief situation is very. Like I said last week, we're inconsistent. I think Tanner Scott, he has had his moments. He did give up that home run to Ketel Marte, which left a lot of Dodger fans frustrated and wondering, was he regressing to the Tanner Scott of old? I would like to see him. Just maybe in a setup role when Edwin Díaz comes back in, or just maybe to fill in to give Edwin a break. That is a very good question. I probably would like to see maybe a relief pitcher come in and fill in the spot that is being filled by somebody that's really struggling right now. Somebody like Landon Knack. I really feel bad because I at one time was a big Landon Knack guy, and now he just cannot be successful right now. I don't think, unless he gets something figured out, because he's just been rocked out there. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I see where you're coming from. And I'm glad you bring up, other players that are, I guess, close to coming back, because you have Edwin Díaz and Kiké Hernández. Clint's friend Katie Wu put out yesterday that they're both, it's likely for them to be back during the next homestand.
Yeah, the target is activation on Tuesday ahead of the Mariners series. So immediately Edwin Díaz takes that spot. Yeah, I've been a Landon Knack fan in the past. It's clear he's not quite up to game shape right now. Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily shape, but game speed, the stuff just is extremely hittable. So you have an immediate upgrade there. You're getting your worst guy out and your best guy, potentially best guy in, and to give a slight more love to Tanner Scott. So obviously, you mentioned that 3-run game. He kind of blows that game with the homer. I thought it was against. I might be wrong here. I'm seeing one against Colorado, the blown save there. But anyways, around those last 13 outings, 12 of them have been scoreless appearances. He's been locking it down. The strikeouts are there. He's been really solid. And him with Vesia, Will Klein's been, one of the more up and down dudes. Brock Stewart finally looking good. The bullpen feels like a pretty good strength. And how about this? And Robert, I want your thoughts. Roki Sasaki's probably not going to have a spot in the starting rotation in October. Move that dude in your bullpen. All of a sudden, we get postseason Roki back.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The pieces are there.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, and you know what? It's easy to overlook Roki, right? Because he hasn't been great, right? His last outing was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
thought that he made some major improvements there. Was it the giant glove? I don't know. But but yeah, no, to your point, it's easy to forget about some of the depth, right? How deep this organization is.
Yeah,
And don't forget, we still have others in the minors. You still have a River Ryan who should be back any day,
hopefully, yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that, with the players coming back, players starting to get healthy, I don't see the Dodgers going after, two, I guess, bullpen relief pitchers. They have been pretty vocal about going after depth pieces, right? Or replenishing the minor league system,
Yeah.
which I'm all for, right? I'm all for the long term. I want this to keep going. Um, but with Edwin Diaz and Kike Hernandez coming back potentially next week, right? Who will be the odd man out, right? Who are they sending down to make room for a Kike Hernandez? I'll ask George this.
I really don't know because is Freeland still on the active roster?
Yeah, there's your
Yeah,
obvious answer. Yeah,
I think that's it.
he's just been, kind of forgotten, it feels like, over the last week, and rightfully so. He hadn't been hitting.
Yeah,
Really good
Yeah,
defender at second base, but you got to hit,
yeah,
at some
yeah,
point.
yeah. That's the obvious answer, I think. Yeah.
So Alex Freeland. As far as Edwin Diaz coming back, who are we sending down potentially? Clint.
Well, that's Landon Knack in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah,
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 he knows. He knows he's got about 4 or 5 more days of big league pay, and he's going to use it. And then better learn OKC, buddy. Use it well. He's fluent in OKC.
yeah. Well, there's one guy that still has not made any progress as far as his return from an injury, and that's Will Smith. Will Smith was recently moved to the 60-day IL, still dealing with that neck inflammation, and he's been out for a while, guys. Look, I'm to the point where I'm getting a little bit concerned here. Is this something that fans should be worried about? I'll leave that up throw that out to the ether for whoever wants it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm concerned about it because the neck is one of the most important parts of your body, your spinal column and everything. So, yeah, I mean, Will Smith is a great player. I totally believe we can succeed in the postseason without a Will Smith, but it would take a Herculean effort from I don't know, I blanked on his name. Why?
Dalton Rushing?
Yeah, Dalton Rushing. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. I had Landon Knack in my head. So
We're
anyway,
always thinking of Landon Knack. That's what we do.
rest in peace, Landon Knack. No, yeah, Dalton Rushing has made progress. You can't. I mean, it's just really big shoes to fill for Dalton. So I get. I get his, why he's frustrated. Sometimes there's a lot of pressure on him, but he looks like he's better. So that is encouraging. So yeah, I am really concerned about Will Smith. I just wish we had somebody else in the backup position. I mean, nothing against Eleazar, but he lost points for me when he didn't hustle down to home plate on that one play. It wasn't an important run. It didn't cause us the game or anything. But, I mean, come on. You're in the big leagues. You got to run everything out hard. And so, yeah, if we could pick up I can't remember the catcher from Colorado.
George had one.
Goodman.
Hunter Goodman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's that's a tall order right there. I mean, you're talking about an all-star slugger. He's 31 homers this year. Like that's but the thing,
29 in Colorado. So just kidding.
well, okay, maybe we want him a little bit less, but yeah, he's somebody like you got the Dodgers have the depth pieces, they have the prospects to make a move like that happen. But if you see that, then you really get concerned about Will Smith. Right now, the 60-day move, it seems to be more procedural than anything, just to open up a roster spot. But the fact that he hasn't played a game since June 5th, we are approaching much past June 5th. We're almost into August now. Like, there is a concern there. But, to the point, hey, Dalton Rushing, when he finds that grit, that mojo, like that's all of a sudden where he starts playing. He starts to ball out a little bit. You saw the homer, the double, telling him get the F back. He needs that edge. You can't neuter Dalton Rushing, or else he plays timid. And
God, I hope you wouldn't neuter Dalton Rushing. That would just be terrible.
He's not like that poor
His wife would have
athletics
something
dude
to say about that.
That poor kid from the Athletics. Rest in
geez.
peace to exploded testicle or whatever it was.
Did you guys see that?
Crazy.
Awful. And he got a hit. He got a hit after.
Did he?
Yeah. He stayed in the game, played a half inning defense, got another hit, and then came out and they find out ruptured testicle.
Yeah.
Talk about a dude that has balls. Huh? I'm sorry. Not that kind of show. Not that kind of show.
The show has gone off the rails when we're talking about exploding testicles.
Yeah. Dodger fans, it could always be worse, right?
Really could.
We could have players with exploding testicles.
Hey,
but
that's a great name for a band, though. And now let's bring out the exploding testicles.
Yeah, it's got a little grunge to it.
Yeah. or a great minor league baseball team,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, there is one story I wanted to touch on real quick. This got a ton of backlash, and I guess rightfully so, right? Guys, did Kiké go rogue on that? Did you guys see Blue Dynasty shared it. It was taken down not long after. There were some people out there saying that it was AI or whatever. Guys, the post happened. Whether it was right or not, that's up to you to decide. But Kiké posted what seemed to be like a letter from a fan, right? Shared the return address and everything.
Yeah.
And it was all about his absence at during the White House visit, right? That's happening as we speak, or happened today. So, guys, look, I just wanted to touch on this because it seems like Kiké has been getting a lot of attention regarding this. I am a firm believer of separating or leaving politics out of sports. Let us enjoy the sport as is, please. I'm all for traditions and all that good stuff. So, if I like that, but as far as taking a stance on certain issues, I prefer not to when it comes to sports. But Clint, I know you saw it. What are your thoughts on this Kiké drama?
I would imagine that is not the first message he had received about it. And, I'm not putting myself in the same breath as Kiké Hernández in terms of being publicly visible, but I have seen a lot of things. You take any sort of political stance one way or another. There's some old crotchety person that has access to a typewriter or to an email if you're lucky, if their grandchildren taught them how to write it. And if you don't align with their political views, they're probably going to send you a message telling you to, jump off a bridge or something like that. Kiké took it a bit far, doxing the fellow, for sure. I would probably have covered that up, but I imagine also at the same time his thinking is, enough of the, I don't know if it's a typewriter keyboard warrior, but enough keyboard warrior stuff where you could just get away with saying anything you want because you're not seeing somebody face to face. That person did not treat Kiké Hernández very nicely for exercising his right to not have your calendar, your schedule aligned, because he is on a rehab assignment right now. For what it's worth, that's probably why he's not going to Washington. But yeah, it's whatever side you fall on in the political spectrum here. It's just, it's a frustrating time where you can't have an opinion because 5,000 other people are going to come at you and say you're wrong or you're a piece of crap or whatever. But the sharing of the address, yeah, that was the step over the line.
That was a little far. Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, what's gonna bring us together is the game of baseball, right? Whether you're Padres fan or a Dodgers fan or whoever, I think that is something that we can all agree on, and kumbaya our way to three-peat. So, how much time do we have left with you, Clint?
Yeah, let's hang out for a little bit longer. It's a good conversation. We don't want to end on politics. That's no fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No way. But let's talk a little bit about the Philly series. I know we've already mentioned it. Dalton Rushing had a heck of a game. I enjoy watching spicy rushing. I guess is what I would call him, right? That game he had Wednesday. I think was a really good example of what Dalton Rushing can be, right? I like that edge. And when we had Austin Brubaker on the show, he mentioned his character, Dalton's character in the minors, right? Because he watched him come up. And a lot of the things that he said really do translate, right? As in, he is just one heck of a competitor. This is his competitor edge, right? But other than Dalton, we've got George here wanting to name his firstborn Max, because Max has just been insane, right? I think he's single-handedly given won 3 games for the Dodgers of late. I want to say 2, at least 2, right? But we'll start with let's start with Bobby, let's start with George. I see Bobby's he's dealing with something. George, what are your takeaways from the Philly series? Are you encouraged? Who were your standouts? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really encouraged. I mean, that was a pretty hot team. And they've been the best team in baseball, I think, since their manager got sacked, since Don Mattingly took over. So I think it's a good series win. Any road trip against a tough opponent and you come away with the series, I think is a positive. And obviously standout performer with Max Muncy, have to give it to him. And I think we don't realize how good Max is. I think we kind of forget about it. I think with all these other stars, it's easy to forget about what he's done for the franchise. And I think now with Kersh gone, I think he's our longest active player, because obviously Kiké, there was a year or 2 where he wasn't with us. So, yeah, I think Max deserves more credit. And obviously, shout out to Robleski as well, the Robo Shark. He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. And he just keeps getting it done. And also, special mention to Eric Lau. He's been very consistent. And I don't know how you turn a 6+ ERA or whatever he had at Toronto into a starter like that, but it just goes to show what a championship environment can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And Clint, is Robleski the real deal?
It feels like it. He just keeps finding ways to improve, start to start, month to month. A very deserved all-star appearance there, 5 strikeouts, tying a Dodger record in that all-star game. And then he comes out and shoves, as he does, against the Yankees in New York. It wasn't the Yankee series, right? No. Or did he start the Philly series? He started game 1 of the Philly series.
Yeah.
Still, same idea. Phillies, hostile environment.
Yeah.
They were booing kids, dropping fly balls in the All-Star game. It's not a happy place for people to need to pitch. But the thing I love about Robo is, and I still call him Robo, I'm old school, I'm not going to call him Shark quite yet, is we know he has that dog in him because we've seen it in the postseason. We've seen him when he needs to crank it up, a couple more notches, he can. We can touch 99 to get out of a situation, but we had him on Dodgers territory at the start of the month, before he made his All-Star berth and all that. And I didn't actually ask him. I set up to ask him, and then we had on forever, so I didn't actually get back to asking him about, the one knock early in the season was a lack of strikeout. He did not have punch. I teed it up to him where he would get enough of the point. Basically, I'm getting to the point where I'm tooting my own horn that I made Justin Wrobleski back into a strikeout pitcher, because it was the day before his start in Oakland where he struck out 10 A's, and then I think he struck out 7 batters before the All-Star break, and then 6 in his most recent, or something like that. I think it was either. I forgot the exact numbers. I don't have them in front of me, but that was the one knock. People kept saying, if you want to be a postseason starter, you got to have strikeout stuff. You have to have punch, and he was not. He had that not even slightly. I think he was striking out like 6% of batters or something like that before turning it on. But now he's the real deal. He has command, he has location, and he has stuff. There was something that came out today. He has like the 4th best fastball in baseball. A couple rungs above him, Jacob Misiorowski. To have him in the top 5 that close, like this kid is legit. And if we're talking about trade stuff, suddenly wholly untouchable for me. I moved Sheehan. I know that's not part of the question, but I just want to make sure everybody knows. I love Wrobleski. He stay here. He good boy.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've seen enough of Robo to say, okay, we've got something here, right?
Yeah.
Now here's another question. I guess a follow-up. If everyone is healthy, who are your 4 starters for the postseason?
Ooh.
Who are we throwing to, me or?
I'll throw it to Clint.
All right. Well, game 1, I go Yamamoto because he has earned it, and I want that guy starting 2 games in a series if I can.
Yeah.
Last year we saw them make the decision, and I know now I'm getting out of just answering the question and moving on, but didn't Blake Snell start game 1 for them? Because you could set things up a little bit different if you have Yamamoto in game 2, and then if you get through that first series quickly, all of a sudden Yamamoto's game 1, and then he's available again in 5 or 6 or whatever it may be. So if there's a healthy Snell, I go Snell, I go Yamamoto, I probably have Shohei in game 4. The Glasnow, I don't trust Glasnow to return. I really don't. Well, he might come back. I don't trust him to be available in the postseason. And part of this is I need to say this so he could challenge me and come back and return and be a World Series champion, thrice over, twice earned. But yeah, I think that's the order there. Glasnow game 3, if healthy, and Shohei in game 4. Gotta suck to be whatever team they're facing. That's for sure.
Yeah. No Wrobleski.
Now those guys are there, and they're paid to be your 1 through 4 starters. Something that should start concerning everybody about Wrobleski is the innings count. His next start, he will eclipse his career high, single season career high in innings, either match or eclipse, and that's a concern because we've seen other pitchers in the past break down. Young pitchers, first time in the starting rotation, full time. I know there's another one. I can't think of the name, but Ross Stripling always stands out to me. 2018 All-Star first half, and I talked to him about it the next season. I had him on my old show, and he just said, like, I was gassed. I was gassed by September, and just basically a non-option for them in the postseason in 2018. That's a concern. That is 100% a concern, and I think we saw the early signs of Dave and the team trying to protect against that. He could have gone deeper into his last start. I think he went 5 1/3 or 6 1/3 or whatever. He probably could have gone 8 innings because that's just what Robo does. But to knock 15 pitches off a start, try to keep him around 80, 85 for a little bit, that's a good way to try to do your best to protect an arm. But we also know bullpen Robo is really good.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and I think he
good
could
problem to have.
I think he could have thrown a few complete games if I remember right this year. But yeah, Bobby, takeaways from the Philly series?
I couldn't be happier. I mean, I have a Phillies friend of mine, and he didn't talk to me the whole 3-game series. So yeah, I was like, how's that base running for you, huh?
Terrible.
Not so good. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, feeling really good about it. And I was just looking at the stats. We shut down Schwarber for that whole series. Robo struck him out 3 times, I believe, or maybe a couple of those 3 strikeouts that he had. Then he went 0 for 4 the next game and 1 for 4 with a run and 2 strikeouts. So yeah, that is good news for us. And I think Bryce Harper had a couple good at bats too. But overall, I'm really happy after that Phillies series. I'm looking forward to the Mets series going forward now. I expect us to win that series. I think anything else would be a huge disappointment because I mean we're facing a below 500 team. So yeah, we should be winning that series. And by the way, Clint, I just have a question. Did you call Russ Stripling Chicken Strip, or do you not have that good of a friendship with him?
Oh no, we 100% did. I also, if you guys have seen the old, I don't know if she's going to do it again this year, but the hottest Dodger bracket. Have you guys seen that it's mainly on Twitter. There is a girl, McKenna, who for the last 6 years running, something like that, has every year in September assembles a list of all the Dodgers, and it's like a bracket style. Okay, this Dodger is hotter than this Dodger. It's great for men, of course. The point is, I brought Ross into the studio and had him take the hottest Dodger test, and it was good. It was pretty good, but he's good. I've had a couple of Pacificos on his dime. He's a good dude. We bought all the Pacifico out of a bar in Arizona once.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Sounds like a
and
good
by the
time.
way, I feel I don't know if you were going to throw it to me, and I don't know if I had my mic on mute. I do this from my game room, and people walk by and stuff, and they try to be quiet. So I tried to put my mic on mute, and I'm like, "Hey, I got my mic on mute, so you can walk through." People are tiptoeing and stuff, trying not to make so much noise. So I apologize if I didn't mute my mic when I thought I did.
You're all good. No, I think
I'm
we're
trying to
good.
be as professional from my game room here as possible. I'm sure you guys have all these great setups. You get Clint's in his office, looks like George, he's living his life in Australia, and you got your stuff
There's
going
a
on
photo,
there.
but yeah,
World Series champion right there.
That's right.
Oh man.
it's a,
Well, the Phillies series is behind us, and now we're looking ahead to the Mets series. I know the Mets just lost a series, 2 out of 3 games, I think, to the Brewers, which have the second best record in baseball right now. Um, I think probable for game 1 is going to be Roki Sasaki facing off with Sean Manaea. Um, yeah, so Mets are below 500 right now, 43
They're
and 60.
so bad.
Yeah.
They're
Um,
so bad.
I mean, I'm not, I don't really look for a sweep now. It's always good to get it. The Dodgers have a healthy lead in the division. So, but if we can keep winning series, I think that's gonna be, key to success, I guess. But looking ahead into this series, anything to watch, Clint?
Um, can Roki go back to back good starts? That's a big thing. You need consistency, and whether it's the showmanship of this giant glove or whatever it is, or it's just actually being locked in. He looked a lot more like he had more preload in his back leg, where he was able to more consistently fire that high velo fastball off, as we saw him throw 21 fastballs 100 miles an hour or faster. Like, that was always the thing. Velocity was going to be the most important thing for Roki Sasaki because the secondary stuff wasn't that good. Now, the secondary stuff is pretty decent, and it's that much better when you got 100 to 102 coming out of your hand, firing out of your hand. So you need to see Roki succeed against a bad team like the Mets. Yeah, they're going to try to take it to them, the Mets are, but they are a bad team. This is just facts. they're broken. They're terrible. They have, I think, the worst record in baseball or worst record in the NL. I don't care. That's a team you got to sweep. I want to see this team go 7-2 coming out of the All-Star break. Longest roadie of the year, I think. Get home, get some rest, and then take on the Mariners. But that's the big one I'm looking at. Also, Nolan McLean versus Yamamoto on Saturday. That's a fun matchup.
Yeah, they're so bad that I've been hearing a lot of talk about them getting rid of Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to happen by the trade deadline?
It feels like a very difficult contract to move. What does he still have? Like 9 years left on that deal, maybe less. I forget where he's at, but it's a lot of money for down production. You know, he's not Mr. Smiles like he was in Cleveland. It feels like he hasn't been the same guy. Maybe escaping. Oh wow, he's been in New York for a lot longer than I realized. 6 years now in New York, but he's got time left on that deal. I think it's a very difficult to trade contract unless you're, one of those you're piling up or pairing him with somebody else for the salary dump. But they're not going to move any of their young, cheap, controllable guys. So I don't think. You're not supposed to call him Frankie anymore, but I don't think Frankie moves. No. I really don't.
No. And the Mets are a testament that you can't buy World Series rings, guys. They've spent so much money on these players. They have Soto, Lindor. I mean, come on. They should be in a better place and they're not, and it's unfortunate. But what do you do? Since we're looking into game 1 in Queens, it's time for our favorite, or at least my favorite segment. It's time to call your shot.
It's time to call your shot.
All right, so we'll go around the room, call your shots. Let's start with Bobby.
Liking how hot Max is right now. I'm thinking he's going to keep it up. I think Max goes deep in first game in I can't say Shea Stadium, Citi Field. I'm 57 years old. Okay?
It's forever Shea to me.
It's forever Shea.
I still call it like whatever they pretend to call Shea, not Shea Stadium these days.
That's right.
So who did you call? Max?
I called Max Muncy.
You go with Max. Okay.
I'm sorry, George, to take the name of your next born son.
So that's the cheat code right now, going months.
That's right.
Yeah.
George.
I think I have to go safe here. I think Ohtani is due. He hasn't homered on this East Coast trip. And he's hit some big home runs at Citi Field. Sorry, Shea Stadium. In the postseason and obviously in the regular season last year as well. So I think he gets a pretty good feel when he plays there. So that's my shot.
Yeah. Shohei feels due. He's hitting the ball hard, just not he's line driving it a little bit too much. Get a little launch angle, and we'll get the show pop back. I'm going to go with the second cheat code, and it's not necessarily a homer guy, but Tommy Edman has been so fantastic since coming off the IL. 360, OPS near 1,000 in coming up on 30 games. Has a lot of history playing against these Mets and playing well. I didn't look up what his splits are, but he did win an NLCS MVP playing against the Mets a couple years ago. Tommy goes off at not Shea Stadium.
I like it.
Priscilla would love that call. Yeah, she's a big Tommy Tanks fan.
Yeah, that's a good Priscilla Philin called shot right there. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with Roki. I think Roki is gonna. He's gonna ball out. He's gonna pitch he's gonna be lights out game 1. And he's gonna add some more confidence to himself. So I'm gonna go Roki. Let's make it specific. Let's go. He goes 8. He'll go 8.
You had to say ball out, didn't you?
Huh?
You had to say ball out, didn't you?
In honor.
Let's bring on the exploding testicles. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh man. Well, that's gonna be all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching Blue Dynasty Unplugged. Big thank you to our special guest Clint Pasillas for joining us. Make sure you follow him on the social media at The Real FRG. Tune into all of his shows. Dodgers territory, all Dodgers. I think it's every day you guys are doing this, right?
Yeah, I do way too much stuff, but it's fun. You know, I'm blessed to be able to do this, to talk about this team. We've seen such terrible versions of this team. It's funny. I've been doing this for so long. Back in my day, I was originally the Dodger man covering this team. 2007, 2008. I did my first podcast before podcasts were really even a thing. This was just a tape recorder with me and a buddy in his studio apartment, talking about Nomar and the return of Greg Maddux for a second time, and Blake DeWitt and all this kind of stuff. To see how far this organization has come, that you could have 500 podcasts and all of us, everybody gets views, everybody gets clicks, everybody has interest because it's the best team in the world and all of sports, man. It's fun.
Amen. I got to meet Nomar last year. He couldn't have been nicer. I took my picture with him. He signed my baseball.
Yeah,
I have in my little cabinet there. Just couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Yeah.
Grew up same hometown, Whittier, California. I'm down the road now, but yeah, he was
Awesome.
famous. He was famous.
I'm from Torrance.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'm a Torrance boy.
I used to work out there, Honda Corporate.
Oh, is that right? Wow. Huh.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Torrance has changed since I've been there. They closed down the Alpine Village, and
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Everybody stay for Torrance talk. We're here. We're locked in, baby.
A lot's changed. I was just there last week, and I grew up in Montebello, so yeah, it was definitely something, right?
Montebello's changed too.
Yes, yes, it has. Yes, it has. But we'll have to bring you back on hopefully soon, Clint.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some postseason. Well, we're doing the watch
Yeah,
party.
say, don't forget the watch party, guys.
Don't forget. Are we doing a live post game?
I think we'll find a way.
Okay.
We'll have to find a way.
Okay. All right.
Our people will talk to our people because we are the people.
Yes. Yeah. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We bring you an episode once a week. You can follow Blue Dynasty on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, X, all of them. So make sure you follow us there and call your shot before every game, and you might be mentioned on Blue Dynasty. Don't forget to follow our contributors, Priscilla, George, and Bobby. And other than that, I think that's it, guys. I'm Robert Medina, and thanks again for listening or watching. And as always, go Dodgers.
Bye.